Let's talk about the Sugar Daddy Chronicles. It's a really interesting dynamic that we have going on in dating. It all starts with economics. Women want to be supported. They're looking for a man that can pay bills, they're looking for a man that can handle their problems. And this is at odds with the average man. The average man doesn't have enough money to actually provide financial help in the capacity of being a sugar daddy. So this creates a lot of animosity. So on one side, you have guys who just want some pussy. They just want to get that pussy. On the other side, you have guys who really want to be fathers, husbands, protectors, and providers, and they just don't have the economic means to be so. Then you have a group of men such as myself. I'm going to share some stories with you. There's a sugar baby website called Secret Benefits. I've been able to pull 1, 2, 3 women off that site and turn them into girlfriends without actually paying them. Let me say that again. I went to a website where the women were looking for men to provide financial assistance. I'll tell you, there were women out there I thought who were extremely ridiculous. There were women out there charging $600 to $1,000 for one sexual experience. The average prostitute charges $200 to $350. Now this is the difference. The average prostitute, if you have the money, they'll sleep with you. These girls, no. No. They gotta find you sexually acceptable to sleep with you, and they're gonna charge you $600 to $1,000. So hence, these girls are not very busy. They're just not, because let's see, the average income. Let's do a little math. All right. Let's go to, what is the average weekly income of the average American male with an average job in the United States? What is the weekly income?
Certainly. Let's address that from a factual standpoint. As of the most recent data available, the average weekly earnings for full-time wage and salary workers in the United States typically hover around a range of about $1,100 to $1,200 per week, depending on the specific quarter and the economic climate. This figure is an average and
So these women want a man to give up more than half his weekly earnings or all of his weekend earnings to fuck her one time. Statistically, it's ridiculous, right? So when I was on the site, and I would go through a questionnaire. Now, this is something else too. I was like, I want to date you. And I had this one woman said, I'm not looking for monotony. These are women who would have 2, 3, 4, 5 sugar daddies, be having sex with each one. These are women that I call super whores. They don't care. They will have radical sexual experiences. And these women could potentially give you something because they're so busy. So I would go along. I would say I would actually talk to about 50 to 75 women to find one woman. I'll talk about the first woman that I pulled off the site that I turned her into a girlfriend. She actually worked pretty close by, and I would go to her job and pick her up for lunch, and we go out. And then I started to do stuff. I remember one time I was in the parking lot outside her job, and I wanted my dick sucked, right? And I just kind of like grabbed her by the back of her head and pulled my dick out, and she started sucking it. I didn't give this woman any money. And then she came to my house, and I blew her back out. That was the first one. We dated for about 6 months, and then she got weird. She got really, really weird, and then she stopped answering phone calls and stuff. And I was like, oh, well. The second one, oh, my God. Let me say. I actually will show you guys. It's going to take me a minute to find the picture because this is way back in the album. The second one, Let me see. Ah, it's not. Okay. This is the second one that I pulled off that website, right? And super sweet girl, amazing sex. Amazing sex. I mean, good Lord. We dated for about 3 years. Now, incidentally, while we were dating, I did not give her any money. She would come to my house, we'd go out. I didn't give her any money, right? Now, this is interesting. After we broke up, she ran into some problems, and then she had some medical issues, and I gave her like $7,500. Why did I give her $7,500? Because when she was my girl, she was a really good girl, and she needed help. So I gave her the money. Let's see, who else came off that site that I can actually show you the pictures? Boom. This right here is the third one. Super sweet, had this beautiful light voice, and I met her on the Sugar Baby website. I remember the first time she came to my house, she was somewhat kind of skittish. And then I was like, hey, just calm down, let's have a conversation. And I told her, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to date someone. I'm looking to have someone. I'm not married. I don't have children. I live in this big ass house by myself. And she said, you live here by yourself? I said, yeah. I don't have any other women, and I'm looking for someone to date. Now, if you want to have multiple people, I'm not interested, right? And she says, I don't want to do that. She says, I wanted to find one person that I could be myself with. And then we started talking and talking. Then I put my hand on her thigh. Then I held her hand. Then I reached over and I said, kiss me. And she gave me a kiss. We ended up having sex the first time she came to my house. Now, these are 3 women from a Sugar Baby website. What does that tell you? The average man out here, and this is something that's in my book, Dating the Woman You Want to Marry. The average man out here is trying to do risk management dating, meaning they're trying to date and not get hurt. They're not trying to date and get the woman, right? So this creates a very strange thing. Most of the advice on YouTube and dating is risk management dating. How can I date this woman with the least possible amount of risk that I can have? And that's going to literally, now I want you to think, I went to a website where the majority of women on the website were looking for men for financial benefits, and I was able to not pull 1, not 2, but 3 women off of that site, turn them into girlfriends, and not pay them anything. What does that tell you about dating? Dating is so fucked up at the moment that when I can go to a Sugar Baby website, meet a girl, and turn her into a girlfriend, a bona fide girlfriend. Because this one right here, like I said, she was super sweet, and she had an incredible body. She had a black woman's body with that face, right? I remember we were out one night, and some white dudes saw her, like she had on these tight jeans and boots, these high heel boots, and a little halter top thing, because she had no waist, she had a really big ass, and she had nice tits, right? And she was walking by, and she had that walk, right? And these white dudes saw she was sitting with me, and the white dudes got pissed the fuck off. They started talking shit. It was like, why is she with him? And me, I'm petty. I was like, because I'm better than you motherfuckers. That's why she's with me, because I got money and a big fucking dick. She started giggling her ass off. And they were like, and they were drinking, so they were extra. I was like, yeah, I'm a better fucking man than your little weak ass with a big black dick. And I'm fucking the shit out of this girl, right? I'm talking crazy stuff. People in the restaurants are like, what the hell? And we walk out and I hold her hand. And then I just slapped her on the ass. I was like, this is my ass. I can slap it. I can do whatever I want to it. And she's just like, So what does that tell you? When you get a super fine woman that's white, the first thing is, and I'm not an athlete or anything, but one of the things that is just crazy was whenever you get a white woman and you're a black guy and the white woman is not fat, trim, and fly, white dudes will have a fucking problem. They don't care if you fuck the fat chicks because they don't want the fat chicks. But when you're fucking, I would call her a superstar. Beautiful woman, fine face. Scale of 1 to 10, 8 to 10. They get mad because you can have some fat chick, even though the fat chick may be cute, she's still fat, and they're like, I don't care about that. You can have them. You can have them all day long. But when you get one of those, let me see, another one. She didn't turn into a girlfriend, but I was able to pull her off the site. This one, right? We just dated for about maybe 4 weeks. She didn't become a girlfriend. And there she is again, right? So when you get those type of white women, oh man, I got all kinds of stuff in here. Let me go back. Let's see. Where did she go? This is another one that came off the site. We actually just dated for about 6 weeks. Freaky. This one is freaky. She was into the BDSM stuff. Very much so. So, one of the things, what I'm telling you guys, if you come out of the Anton Daniels, this is how we have sex. I put my dick in her and I don't look at her and I just If you get out of that weird shit, the world is your oyster. I'm able to go on a sugar baby website, get women, date them, and fuck them. And this kind of goes back to my Craigslist training. Once you start getting a lot of women, and this is one of the things. I've had all my sexual fantasies fulfilled, and I'm at a point with my boo Tressie, I would never cheat on her. You want to know why? Because I've been out there. I already know what's out there. And that's a very different thing. I have a really special relationship with her. One of the things I like about a relationship is we laugh. We laugh hard. We laugh a lot. But typically, women are looking to be protected and provided for. Now, this is one of the reasons that I killed the Disruptive Male program, because people did not, there's this huge problem with getting your economics together. There's this huge fucking problem. Dudes just don't want to do it. They just want pussy. They want easy pussy. They don't want to get their economics together, right? Getting your economics together is going to be the thing that's going to free you to actually get your whole life together. Because, yeah, I had money. Yes, I drive a Porsche. That's helpful, but it doesn't seal the deal. This one, I remember talking to her, right? We're just sitting there having a conversation, and I have this innate ability to know when a woman is super submissive. And I said, "You're submissive, aren't you?" She said, I am. I believe so. I'm very submissive. Then this question popped in my head. "You like to be spanked, don't you?" And she just looked at me. And she's like, "How'd you know that?" "You like to be spanked hard, don't you?" Then she started, her nipples went, boing! I was like, we have a winner here. I was like, oh, you're into BDSM, aren't you? And she just looked at me and she's like, I am, but she said, it's so hard to find a man that will do it. I said, what's so hard? She said, most men won't do it, or they can't do it, or they don't do it effectively. I said, really? So what I did is I stood up and I said, stand up. And I said, take off all your clothes. And she said, what? This is the first time I meet this woman. I said, take off all your fucking clothes, you little dirty little whore. Yes, sir. Takes that stuff. Get on your fucking knees. Now tell me, why should I make you my little submissive whore? Why do you want to be my bitch? I'm good. I do this. I'm very obedient. She is butt ass naked on the floor, just pouring her heart out, telling me all this shit, right? And I was saying, I need some more proof. So I get right in front of her, I pull my dick out, start sucking it like a fucking porn star. Gurr. And I nutted so hard. Oh my God. And I was like, you interview very well. And then I was like, okay, stand up. And at the time, I had all types of accoutrements and stuff. So I went out and got a paddle, and I gave her a hard spanking, right? Left her ass all red, slightly bruised up, and I finger fucked her, and she came so hard. She literally fell down. She was standing up, and she fell down, and she was on the floor like, oh my God, I love this. So, once again, gentlemen, if you want to get the key cornerstone here is getting your economics together. That's key. None of this, we're going to be 50-50. You want to be a leader. You want to be a protector. You want to be a provider. Also, I will go here because I'm not going to get too much into Tressie, but it was Tressie's ideal to have sex. I'll tell you how it went down. 2025 was a bitch of a year. That video will be coming up a little later. I'll tell you everything that happened, but I reached a point where, let's see. I used to date her, and I tried to date her again, but she was going through some stuff. She liked me taking her out and feeding her stuff, but she didn't want to kiss. She didn't want to have sex. And then she kind of went off. It's like, let's just take 2 weeks off. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I just stopped contacting her. And then this was shortly after my birthday. And then I said, I got to meet someone else. And I meet Tressie November 23rd. We have a great first date. She gives me a beautiful kiss. Then we spent all day Tuesday together. Then we spent Wednesday together. Thursday was Thanksgiving. We spent Friday and Saturday together. Then on the 30th, she was like, you need a massage. Okay. So I come over and, she's like, she's in the bed, bra and panties. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to get some pussy. And literally met her on the 23rd, and she gave me some pussy on the 30th. 7 days. I did not beg. I did not cry because I was just happy being with her. So once you get yourself together economically, doors open up. Doors open up. All right, that's all I got. There'll be a lot of crazy videos on this channel.